So that's like a personal story to you where it's like, hey, just find a supplier in the United States.
Yes and no. And since you brought that up,
which is tough to do, or
yeah, people don't manufacture for like there are not a lot of companies manufacturing eyeglasses here. It's not a lot of manufacturing in the States, period. Let's be serious, right? iPhone, all this electronics, none of it comes from here. This is my problem with that. Yes, I found a guy. I'm ecstatic. I still have to import the Zio, the plastic. So they don't make plastic here. So I can make the frames here, okay? But the Zio has to be imported. So I'm hoping what it does do is it cuts down on the tariffs that will come into the country for the frames proper, but I may still save money on the fact that now they're only bringing in sheets of plastic, if you will. How frames are made are sheet stock, right? They're big flat sheets of plastic. So they'll bring those things in instead of big blocks, because the blocks would be way too expensive, right? Usually they would do like a table like that, and that's called the block of plastic. It makes 1,500 frames, right? So what they're doing is they're bringing in sheets. It's cheaper, smaller, because it's smaller to ship, easier to ship, the whole 9 yards, but that's still coming in. So hopefully that's not going to get tariffed too much, but it'll still be cheaper than how I'd have to land the frames.
Yeah, and I got a question how all that works. So like, okay, he says there's a tariff on every import, 25%. So who is doing that, bro? Like,
okay, so how it works is this: you get an iPhone, right? They wholesale the iPhones in, right? So they bring in the iPhone. AT&T brings in the iPhones from China, wherever they're bringing them in, and they're bringing them in at a wholesale cost. Wholesale cost, let's just say for shits and giggles, is $100, right? Now they're going to tack on 30% more of that, so it's going to cost them $130 to land in the country before they even.
But I'm saying, like, okay, global economies, who's taxing who? Who's collecting that 30%? Like, who's keeping track of it? The IRS can't even keep track of like what we're doing with our money in the United States. So who's keeping track of that, and who's collecting that money?
True. So what'll happen is they're going to chart. You're going to have AT&T buying in shiploads of phones, right? So now their bill is going to go up 30%. So they're going to keep track of it, right? So now they know that they spent more on the product. Now they're going to pass that just gets passed to us. All of it's going to get passed to us. Same thing. Canada, the.
But where? At what point in the
nobody?
supply
The
chain?
government doesn't change it. The government doesn't.
So at what point in the supply chain is it that money getting collected?
When it lands into the end, the person who's going to use it. So the person who's going to wholesale it, right, is going to get that 30% tariff, and then they're going to just tack on 30 points to the product, to the retail, to the consumers. So the retailer, whoever's buying it, give you another example, the wood that comes from Canada, the tariff's 20%, I think at this point, 25%.